as well as her older sister. I want to start out by saying thank you to everyone here for joining us to celebrate the start of Michelle and Dillon's married life. I promise I'll try to keep this as short and simple and sweet as possible. Michelle, I've known you since you were born. We have so many memories together. It's good, bad, and some illegal. So it's very hard to pick just one. But for all the memories that we do have, my favorite is all of the ones where your happiness shines the brightest. I've never seen you more happier or more yourself than when you're with Dillon. And as a big sister, that's all I could ever want. Dillon, you are like the little brother I never had. Take that as you will. But in all seriousness, you are the perfect match for my sister. You're a good man, and I couldn't have asked for a better person. I'll never forget when we first met you and to see Michelle question what we thought of you. And I guess you've kind of figured it out by now. And if you haven't, well, everybody learns at their own speed. I'm overjoyed with adding you as a little brother, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for you two. And with that, I would like to turn over the floor to the best man.
I'd like to start off by saying how beautiful you look, Michelle, as well as the bridesmaids. Very beautiful. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out to support Dillon and Michelle in their union. Ariel and Amy, great job of setting everything up. Wedding planning and execution. Barbara, where's she at? Right there. Thank you for cooking and arranging the dinner, so everyone who helped set up, thank you very much. Paul and Barbara, you have raised an amazing young woman. Laura and I are very excited to have her as part of our family. So on behalf of the Laytons, Castles, the Grubbs, Friels, Griffiths, Smiths, and Cows, welcome to our family. For all of you who don't know me, I'm Mike. I've known Dillon, it seems like forever. Well, because it has been. Time to talk about Dillon a little bit. There's a lot of things to describe him, but one thing is not athletic, because for basketball, football, baseball, dude, you had no skills. Not too coordinated either. He's also not good at landscaping. Mowing our yard was one of his specialties, but it wasn't one of his specialties. It always looked like someone that was blind or drunk cutting our grass. But that's okay. You have a lot of time for practice now. You have your own yard. And Michelle, just to let you know, Dillon's favorite 2 words, I know. Try and give him some advice or some help. He would just say, I know. Then a few days later, he'd come to me and say, hey, Dad, do you know? And I said, yes, I do know. I told you a couple days ago. But you know what? I've never been disappointed in you. Well, except for the time in Würzburg, Germany, at the Post Exchange, when you peed on some Timberland boots, in the PX Exchange, right there in the display section. Man, your mom was pissed. Or when you thought it was a good idea to stick toys up your nose. I was disappointed then. Or those times where I was playing 80s music. Really thought it was going to take until you were in the back seat singing to Backstreet Boys. That really hurt me. That's when I was disappointed. But other than that, I've known Dillon to be authentic, devoted, witty, adaptable. I could go on and on with all the adjectives to describe Dillon. But there are only 2 words that stand out most to me. My son. Returning from deployment in Bosnia, when I left, you were barely speaking. You really didn't say much. But when I returned, you grabbed my hand, looked up at me, and called me Dad. It was the proudest moment of my life. Today is another one of those days. Looking down on you and Michelle, smiling, laughing. I'm getting lost here. And then moving on to the next chapter of your lives, I can't wait to see what the future will hold. I'm proud to call you my son, and even more proud to be your dad. I love you. And oh, Michelle, there are no buybacks, returns, refunds. It's all yours. So let's all stand up, raise our glasses, and toast to the bride and groom. Cheers to the bride and groom.
Guys, bear with me. This lovely table here, myself and Dillon have known each other for about 7 years. We met in Arizona, and Dillon was this free spirit of a guy. Showed up in this lifted white Jeep that he'd never taken off-road before, and he thought he was pretty slick. And, we all love Dillon, so we'll just preface that. We all love Dillon. But he can never look you straight in the eye. Kind of throws you off a little bit. Took about a year to get used to that, but that's just Dillon's way. Super kind-hearted, gentle, easy-spoken, doesn't get riled up very often. And some of our buddies started getting transferred over to Georgia, Dillon himself included. And we said, why don't we just keep the family together, the four of us? So we were requested to come to Georgia, and sure enough, here we are, 7 years later. Tight as can be, one big family. And Michelle's included in that now. She's very, very kind. She whips Dillon into shape, doesn't take anything for granted. Certainly doesn't take any shit from Dillon. Excuse my language. But he's happy. We saw Dillon pretty unhappy in Arizona for a pretty long time. And you can just see it in his face. When they were dancing on the dance floor, he was complete bliss. He found his mate for life and his partner. And it's beautiful to see. So you could ask nothing more of your best friend. Michelle's perfect for him. So cheers to Dillon and Michelle.